The Copyright Amendment Act comes into force today, with illegal file sharers facing fines of up to $15,000. The government says it will stop internet piracy, but the law has been strongly opposed by many internet users. Tougher penalties allowing people's internet to be cut off can be introduced if the law hasn't been effective after 2 years. But the Labor Party says it will repeal the disconnection provision if elected. But although the government thinks this will help stop internet piracy, others aren't so sure, including Vikram Kumar, Chief Executive of Internet New Zealand, who joins me now this morning. Good morning, Vikram. Tell me why you don't like this law.
Good morning. I think there's a range of reasons why most people don't like this new law. First of all, there's very harsh penalties, and we haven't had an opportunity to debate before rushing into penalizing people. What's the right balance in an internet age for copyright? The second thing is that people who own an internet connection and who are termed as account holders, they become liable for whatever happens on the internet connection. And what that means is that people who are account holders can get fined up to $15,000 even though they themselves have done absolutely nothing wrong.
OK, but so, Vikram, this law is about creating fairness, though, isn't it? I mean, if I create something and you rip it off, that's not fair, is it?
It is about fairness. It is about making sure that the creative people have an opportunity to get a fair return for their work. But that's not what's happening in any case at the moment. And if the law was about redressing that balance, I think we'd find a lot more people supporting it. At the moment, the law is much more in favor not of the creatives, but of the content distribution companies and the production companies. And effectively, what we're doing is legislating in a business model that is outdated in an internet age.
What do you mean by a business model that's outdated in the internet age? Well, can you explain that?
Sure. So, for example, at the moment, if somebody is illegally downloading a TV show, you've got to ask yourself, why are they illegally downloading a TV show that would be available to them in any case? And the answer is because the business models are that New Zealanders get TV shows that are 6 months, 2 years, 3 years out of date. And so people go online and they get tempted to have a look at them very quickly and very early.
Which is why so much is downloaded in New Zealand. I understand like 10,000 copyrighted items are downloaded every day here. It's a big problem, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but also recognize that until we go and tackle the root of the problem, which is to make legal material available for those people who are willing to pay for it, laws like this will only scratch the surface.
OK, so this law comes into effect today. Do you think New Zealanders are really aware of what this means for them? Are they going to get caught out?
I think they will get caught out because it's absolutely unacceptable that the government has imposed these harsh penalties but has done nothing, and absolutely nothing, to go out and tell people that the law is coming, to tell organizations, schools, universities, libraries, all of these people are going to get affected. There's going to be a huge cost being imposed on society, and yet the government has done absolutely nothing to tell New Zealand that it's coming.
And if the 3 strikes doesn't work, they're talking about cutting off people's internet connections if this law is not effective in 2 years' time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and I think that that's going to be a lobbying point and a debating point going forward. I can imagine that many of the representatives of the Hollywood studios would be saying the law isn't working. And yet, this law today and in the future, there has been no objective evidence of what exactly the problem is. Because while we can say that, for example, the sales of DVDs are going down, we do know that the sales of electronic or online material is going up. And so we don't have a common definition of what the problem is. And that's going to be a continued sore point going forward.
OK, Vikram Kumar from Internet New Zealand, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.